Hooray! But you're still in a clown shoe. Had to reset. I don't know if my video being titled Hate meant it was censored more than normal, but we're trying. We're going to see if love, titling the video Love, makes a difference. Or hey, maybe I'm just being censored today. That could be it. You know, I always feel like there are these forks in the road, right? And there are certain times in this fight where, changes happen. And just before the change happens, there's always this weird time where I just sort of feel like isn't right, and there's about to be something like something. And that's where I'm at right now. Like, I'm really starting to think like something is building up, something happening. And hopefully the next stage in this progression is people accepting the fact that they are allowed to not like the cult. The truth is, you're not going to find anyone that's going to tell you why the cult is okay, why we should support the cult. And they're going to do everything they can to avoid that conversation. They're going to name call, they're going to cry, they're going to, But we need to acknowledge the truth here. We need to stop beating around the bush and acknowledge what we're being shown. I keep trying to understand my fellow Goyim. Although I do wonder how many of the commenters are actually fellow Goyim to begin with. But, the simple question of what makes you be a Christian, it's something that it must really bother them, and it must not be something that they ever really thought about, because they never have an answer for it. And of course, there's always the females that have, nothing to say, but they think they do. And I'm like trying to kill this wasp nest. Try not to get stung in the process. Hooray! But you're still a clown shoe. Yeah, there's a song around here. Yep, I sure do look like one of those. Look at my giant fucking schnoz. Look at that hook. Super big hook on my shit, huh? Super big bump built for glasses, huh? I'm like 5'6", right? Like, look at the nonsense. Like, even let's just say, and I've said this time and time again, actually, if I had any sort of friar connection, if I had any sort of Jewish connection to my history, I'd be the first one to say it. Why? Because it would strengthen all of my arguments. If I was coming at you from the position of like, I grew up in the chosen cult myself, and I witnessed a lot of this shit myself, and I, because I'm a better person than you are, I left the cult, right? Wouldn't that make my argument so much stronger? Plus, it would mean like I couldn't be censored. I'm talking about my own people and all that shit. It would be a lot easier for me to be one of, a cult member. I wish I could say I was a cult member. I'd be proud to say I left that shit. But again, these are all arguments that people give because they can't argue against what I'm saying. any little tiny thing you can come up with to try to maybe change it a little bit or something, you know. But to actually engage in the, you know, the discussion, why are you a Christian? Why are you a Muslim? Why should we subject ourselves to this J slavery? And these aren't questions that people want to answer. And it's interesting how that exists like across the board. Ask a Trump supporter why they support Trump. And other than like some surface racist bullshit, well, the borders are secure now. Because, you know, like just the whole idea of the arrogance, that it's all arrogance, the Trump arrogance. Make America great again. The only way America can be great is if Trump is the president. We weren't great before him, and I guess we won't be great after him unless, you know, unless he does it. But that's, you know, it's like the Trump supporters who ignore the fact that it was the Trump presidency that locked us down. Right? Like, why do you ignore that part? Is it just so because it doesn't fit your narrative about him being a good guy who doesn't do what he's told? And I'm telling you guys, like, you can see what's happening right in front of you. It's just, and it might even be that, like, you have that weird feeling, right? Where you're looking at it and you're like, this is true, and this is, but what? There's something not quite right. There's something missing from this. And that's exactly what's happening. That's how this works. You know, the fact that you can find endless videos about Epstein, but very, very few of them actually talk about the Friar connection to everything. You know, we're just so programmed that we're not supposed to talk about Judaism that it just gets skipped over. And when you're looking at all of the players involved, and you're looking at shit like the mega group and you know, all the Mossad connections and all that, there's you know, there's a significance here that's being completely ignored. You know, this narrative as to like, where did Epstein get his money from, and you know, it doesn't make sense. This guy was the son of a gardener and a part-time teacher. How did he go to the country clubs and live that extravagant lifestyle? And the thing, you know, how do you know that anything you're told about Epstein's childhood is even true? This is the thing, this is that piece that seems to be missing, is people love to pick and choose from the narratives they give you which parts you're going to like. But the reality is, it's all information given to us. You know, you only know what they want you to know. Oh, we got Steve Shalom. Shut your bitch ass up, right? You're a pedophile. Of course you don't want me exposing you guys. You know? Like, it would be a completely different thing if the friars all came out and were like, look, we are sick of these negative associations because of these certain pieces, and we are going to eliminate these pieces. We don't want our cult to continue to be associated with these pieces. But they never do. Literally, they give us, like, you know, 50 Jews who oppose Israel, you know, these characters that are presented to us, that tiny broad in the pink. And we're supposed to then believe that not all of them are bad. Look, there's a couple here. Right? Look, there's a couple here. Yes, expose me. Expose me all you can. Because again, look at this. Look at who do you think's thinking along those lines? So me, I'm just some doofus on a live feed. What do I matter? Especially since everything I'm saying is wrong. But if everything I'm saying isn't wrong, especially since there's a lot more people saying it, like instead of, let's expose this pedo stuff and eliminate this pedo stuff and that's not what they say. Let's expose Guy Williams. Like that's the mentality I keep talking about. That's how stupid these inbred fucks are. Seriously, please, somebody find me a Ben Shapiro. Find me a Jew who can actually have a decent debate. We'll see what happens. I would give anything to be able to fucking have a back and forth with bitch ass Ben Shapiro. He won't do it. He would never do it. And there's this whole side of things where it's like you're going to act like you're smart because you're like, well, what about in 1824 when Congress passed the blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's all bullshit. That's all stuff I just have to trust the system that lies to me. You like Todd. Of course you do. Todd's a pedo. You pedo stick together. I'm not a pedophile. I don't like my son's girlfriend's 12-year-old body like you do. Yeah, that's me. That's me. Like this desperate association that you have like this one little piece that you think you can hang on to, but the clip that you use, I'm literally talking about how weird you would have to be to think a 12-year-old's attractive. But you Jays, you friars, your pedos goes all the way back to your birth bullshit, to your Matitza Bapes and your Brit Malaz and, and then the ritualistic sexual abuse that is really, really common, the binding of Isaac and shit like that. That's you. Yep, I say the words. Yep, I talk about how disgusting you have to be to find 12-year-olds attractive. Anybody who thinks that video is wrong says a lot. This is desperation. It's just desperation. I can't argue anything you're saying, so I'm going to try to use some bullshit that is completely, like, it's edited a certain way. You definitely leave out the stuff said prior, and then you focus on this part where I'm saying 12-year-olds have weird boobs. If they're 12, if they're prepubescent, they're weird. So why would you like them to begin with? But this is what you have, and I get it. And unlike you, I'm not afraid to engage in it. You make an accusation, I'm going to engage it. These guys, it's all cowardly bullshit. Why aren't you as a cult demanding that Matitza Bape be removed from the docket? The Bottom of Darkness article exposes that the ritualistic sexual abuse of children is extremely, extremely common in Israeli society. And it's all Israelis, it's all Jews that are exposing it. They can't use their normal hide tactic where it's like, oh, that's anti-Semitism. These are Jews exposing this. Exposing how the police system in Israel doesn't give a fuck. Exposing how, a lot of the child exploitation materials that are available online come from this. These are disgusting, disgusting creatures. They're literally starving a population right now while dropping bombs on them. Like, who the fuck is going to do that shit? Who walks around saying it doesn't matter what we do, we're born special. We're born chosen by God, so everybody needs to bow to our feet. Why do we accept that shit? See, only a fucking piece of shit would, like, only somebody that thinks alone. What turns you on when it comes to children? Like, only pedophiles think along those lines. You know? It's how their heads work. And of course, instead of engaging in answering the simple questions, he's not going to. Oh, look, it's somebody that joined 23 hours ago with no subscribers. Gee, I wonder who that could be. Let's expose it real quick, right? So we already showed you the Naftali Bennett, which again, something that won't get addressed. Naftali Bennett talking about ensuring that Wikipedia is balanced and Zionist in nature. Right? Like just the admission in that statement alone, right? But then there's the other side of this. There's the Act.il and Team Jorge aspect of things. So let's read Act.il first. Act.io was a social networking service used by supporters of Israel to oppose online anti-Israel content such as the BDS movement. Its activities were referred to as, quote, an online propaganda campaign and, quote, a virtual situation room of pro-Israel experts. That's where you need to pay attention. Act.io directed its users to, quote, missions, good soldiers doing their missions, to like, comment on, and share pro-Israel material on social media. It also asked users to flag, report, and respond to criticisms of Israel. Users were guided how to respond, right? Instead of actually just responding normally, responding to the questions being asked or responding to the situations being put forth, they're guided how to respond, which might entail writing a reply using the provided talking points. Right? So when you see the same take your meds, schizophrenic, delusional, whatever bullshit that they latch onto at the time, and it's across the board. Like I had been suspecting this for quite some time. And I've been showing you guys for quite some time on the live feed. But the other day when I got into it with some piece of shit friars on my Facebook page, just in the comment section, as soon as you start pointing out shit, you start saying, look, I'm not your average goyim here. I know about your Matitza Bapay bullshit. I know about the bottom of darkness. I know about these things. Immediately they turn to take your meds. You say, or you start talking about the genocide. You guys are committing genocide. You're horrible piece of shit people, if you can even call you people. Immediately the response is take your meds and you're schizophrenic. And that's impossible. It's impossible that it would work out that way just by chance. And so you see this, and you see it over and over again. You don't see that when you bring up the genocide, that they go, yeah, that's fucking horrible. I'm really embarrassed by my people. I wish they weren't doing that. I'm finding it hard to still be associated with this cult when you look at all the horrible shit it does, like the Matitza Bapay. They don't say shit like that. They call you crazy and tell you not to talk about it. Know about it, talk about it. Ask yourself, who the fuck is like, and it just happens to work out that these people that have such a pedophilic religious base also happen to be the people that consistently get caught raping children in Hollywood. That consistently get caught raping children in all around. And actually, the fucked up part is because, again, they're all so brainwashed. This shit is happening in synagogues all over the place, but they don't expose it because they're so brainwashed. Probably happened to them. It's almost like a rite of passage at this point. It has to do with transcendence and shit like that, according to the Bottom of Darkness article. I pity the fool. You're obsessed with negativity. Obsessed with negativity. You know what, you guys? I should be like, man, sure is pretty out here today, guys. You guys want to see some leaves on the trees? Oh, look at how the leaves on the trees look. Oh, that's so pretty. Let's focus on the positivity. Why don't you give me some positivity about Judaism? I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear you guys give me some sort of good, positive stuff that contradicts all of the tremendous amount of negativity associated with you friars. Again, like this stupidity. So apparently I like them because I think people that do are gross and that they're weird. Because I think we should cancel The Godfather because of the scene where Michael Corleone rapes his at the time the actress was 14 playing a 15 or 16-year-old. And he was 26, or he was 30, playing a 26-year-old. And the scene is, kind of like one take shot, like they're. Oh shit! I forgot my tea this morning. All these other people out here, how come nobody else has brought this up? This shit is fucking extremely weird. Extremely gross. And yet I'm the only one I've ever heard even mention it. I've never heard anyone else even mention this shit. People just talk about The Godfather like it's some fucking masterpiece. And of course they love to push the idea of the Italian gangster, the Italian mobster. When the reality is that the worst of the mafia groups was the Purple Gang. The Friar Gang. The piece of shit Jews. These guys are disgusting, man. These I just, it's so weird because I really do hate calling them people. I hate it because of the association. I'm a people, and I don't want to be associated with people like that. I don't want people to think, well, is this what all people do? We need to rise above, man. People can be less evil, though. Most people are less evil. The Jays are the worst. The Friars are the worst. And people can be evil, sure, but these individual people are protected by the organization. It's an entire organization, an entire belief structure based on this shit. You know, the fact is, we're all forced to, like here in Detroit, they erect a 30-foot menorah every year for Hanukkah in the middle of Detroit. This 30-foot metal menorah that has natural gas hooked up to it, so each of the fucking candles can be lit. Like it's insane. The amount of cost that thing has to occur every year. Who pays for it? I mean, it's tax dollars, but still. Like, we're so forced into this bullshit. And most people don't understand. Like, if you were to bring up tell me about a Jay holiday, most people are going to bring up Hanukkah. That's the sort of main one as far as us dumb goyim are concerned. And then if you ask your average everyday person, what do you think Hanukkah's about? You know, the 7 days and 8 crazy nights, right? Hanukkah song. The Hanukkah song from Adam Sandler is just him listing off bragging. Look at all these rich and powerful Jews, some of which you didn't even know. Captain Kirk, you had no idea. O.J. Simpson, not a Jew. That's what he says. I get it, because O.J., the man that was never convicted of murder, who is still somehow the poster child of murder, while Trump was convicted of rape and instead is the president. Think about how crazy that is, man. Think about how fucking crazy that is. But Hanukkah is a celebration of them winning the right to circumcise. It's literally about circumcision. Because circumcision in there it's the number one mitzvah. It's the most important mitzvah, commandment. It's as important as any other mitzvah, and no mitzvah is more important than it is. And to think about that, right? Like, it just, to me, the whole Maccabee Revolution story is just another example of how fake their history is. How manufactured their history is. It's fake. It's dumb. It doesn't make any sense. It's as real as Exodus. And apparently you can't have Judaism without Exodus. But Exodus is, it across all boards, all sort of scientific and cultural, all the experts acknowledge that Exodus is an impossible story. It's stupid. It's just fucking stupid. And yet still people don't go, well, if your whole fairy tale is based on this impossible, stupid narrative, guess what? Your shit's not legit. And Hanukkah's the same shit. So according to the narrative, Jews were living with the Seleucids. I don't know. It was their empire was tolerant of their wickedness, allowed them to exist and you know do their thing, but okay, so this is the narrative that you're given. You read the Israeli approved, locked, it's all locked up, you can't change it, Wikipedia narrative. It says that they were forced to eat meat that wasn't kosher. How? Nobody can, there's not going to be an example. There's not going to be any, how do you do that? They were forced to worship on Sunday instead of Saturday. Again, how do you force people to worship on a day? I mean, it's the stupidest, it's dumb. Those are the two dumb things that they sort of attach to it to, I guess, make it more legitimate. I don't even really know, right? But the third thing is something that is significant, and that is circumcision was outlawed. And so, and it's not like Johannes Maccabeus, or whatever the fuck his name was, Johannes, whatever. Maccabeus, the guy that the Maccabee Revolution is named after. It's not like he was like, fuck that, we're going to worship on Saturday. Fuck that, we're going to eat kosher food. It wasn't saying that. What made Maccabee so upset is the lack of circumcision. So he decided that he was going to circumcise himself and his family, I guess. And then go around to, because, back then, traveling all across the country was apparently really easy to do. They used Godspeed. Not only did he travel all over the country somehow, he actually knew where all the different Jews lived as well. And he went all over the country, giving his fellow friars the option. Either circumcise yourself and your family and join our revolution, or we'll kill you. And that's what they did. They went around killing people who refused to circumcise. Not people who were like, no, okay, I'll worship on Saturday. I'll only eat kosher food. It wasn't like that. The only thing that mattered was the circumcision. And we know that Moyle had to be fucking busy, because that's a part of it. That's the Matitza B'Peh. That's a part of the ritual. Gotcha. And once they were able to slice up enough people, get enough members of their revolution, then they went and attacked the Seleucid Empire, and over years of battle, many years of war, they eventually won the right to cutty slicey sucky once again. And that's why we celebrate Hanukkah to this day. That makes sense, doesn't it? Doesn't that sound like a good thing to you? I mean, when you know that that's what Hanukkah represents, does that change it for you at all? Don't you think it's weird that like, we don't know any of those narratives, right? We don't know anything about Hanukkah. Here, can you hold this for a second? I gotta go pay.
Yes. Hanukkah.
Tell them about your favorite holiday, Hanukkah.
Yeah. No. It was weird. I was married to somebody that his mother married an Orthodox Jew when he was 5, after divorcing his Christian father and her being a Christian. And she converted and forced her 2 boys to convert. when I met him, he didn't believe in anything. Like, he definitely did not identify as a Jew, but wasn't Christian either. But he was forced to be, bar mitzvah and all that. So I had exposure to Hanukkah, and it was very strange. Like, it was almost, I know it's supposed to be a religious celebration and time, but in the Jewish culture that I was immersed in, it was very superficial. It's, you know, not this beautiful thing that it was supposed to be portrayed as. It was almost like Christmas is treated by a lot of people that claim to be Christians but really aren't. So it wasn't.
I mean, I think, again, when it comes to her perspective on the whole thing.
Well, no, because this was, we'd go to do the Hanukkah things, and it wasn't.
Right. Well, but you would give, you were given a different perspective. They knew you were. They weren't their honest and true selves around them. They weren't real Jays. Her ex-husband was a convert by mother's marriage. It wasn't even his choice. So it's like a secondary convert, which doesn't hold much weight. Copy of a copy of a copy. What a crazy ass cult, man. And the truth is, let's just say, it's not very common. Like, it's not everyone. Not everyone is put through that ritual, right? You say, well, not everyone does it. If one Matitza B'Peh is happening in our society every year, just one, that's more than enough. That's why is that accommodated even a little bit? Like, you think about it outside of the religious perspective. If you were to say it in any other way, if you were to try to explain to somebody in any fucking way how it's okay that you cut this baby's junk and then put your mouth on it, it just wouldn't fly, right? Nobody would be like, oh, okay, you're doing this for, even if you were to say, like, I am I'm this unique new religion. I've created a religion that's all. Like, imagine that. Imagine somebody says, I've created a new religion. The most important thing we do is circumcise. The most important thing we do is circumcise, and a majority of the time, somebody puts their mouth on it. How well do you think that would be accommodated by our society? It's one of these things that if you knew about it, like, if you didn't know, it's kind of one thing. But as soon as you find out, you should just be like, what? Oh, fuck that. Get the fuck out of here. And it's crazy, too, because I can't imagine there was anything that I was super duper involved in. And, this lifestyle that I led, or whatever, anything, just anything, a sport I played, a group I was involved in, a family, I find out it's my family, or I marry it, whatever it is. I can't imagine anything that I'm associated with being exposed as having a very common ritual where you hire a man to come and cut your baby's penis and then suck on it. Like, there's nothing that that if I found that out, I would be like, oh, well, gotta do what you gotta do. You know, it wouldn't matter who it was. If I found out that that's what you do, I'm gonna go out of my way to get you in as much trouble as I possibly can. So when people want to talk about, oh, well, you know, they're not all bad and not all of them partake in the ritual and blah, blah, blah. Well, where are the ones that don't, that are calling for its, you know, for it to be abolished? Understand this. A Moyle isn't surprised by his job. Nobody goes into Moyle school and is like, all right, I'm going to do, you know, but I want to be a Moyle. And then they find out the one thing they do, because they don't even do anything else. The only thing the Moyle does is perform this ritual. He goes around performing the ritual. And you'll see quotes from them that'll say, like, you know, this isn't bad. I've done hundreds of these and nothing bad is, or thousands of these and nothing bad has happened, blah, blah. And you're like, dude, you've had thousands of bloody baby dicks in your mouth. You are a monster. You're a monster. And of course, you know, like, to me, the people that are on the feed that hear these things, that you know, understand what this feed represents, that hears the words coming out of my mouth, and they still take issue with me, who is that? Who the fuck is that? Who the fuck is going to hear about these things and be like, oh, the guy talking about it is the real problem? I'm going to do what I can to try to fuck that guy's feet up. How dare he expose this horrible ritual cult practice? How dare he? You know, this is the same thing as the Trump supporter. It's not just some fledgling rumor or some shit anymore. It's not just something that just the crazy conspiracy theorists, they're aware of it, but the average person isn't. Everybody knows about Trump's pedo association. The conviction for rape is something you can easily, you know, was Trump convicted of? Was Trump convicted of rape? Oh, it's not going to give me the AI breakdown for some reason. Jury finds Trump liable for sexual abuse, awards accuser $5 million. E. Jane Carroll. Let's read the E. Jane Carroll versus Trump shit, shall we? E. Jane Carroll is the name of the two related... E. Jane Carroll versus Donald Trump is the name of the two related lawsuits by American author E. James Carroll against U.S. President Donald Trump. The two lawsuits resulted in a total sum of $88.3 million in damages awarded to Carroll. Both cases are under appeal. Again? Both cases were related to Carroll's accusation from mid-2019 during the first Trump term that he sexually assaulted her in late 1995 or early 1996. Trump denied the allegations, prompting Carroll to sue him for defamation in November of 2019. In November 2022, Carroll filed her second suit against Trump, renewing her claim of defamation and adding a claim of battery under the Adult Survivors Act, a New York law allowing sexual assault victims to file civil suits beyond expired statutes of limitations. Why are there statutes of limitations to begin with? Especially when it comes to shit like this. This suit went to trial in April 2023. Evidence included testimony from two friends Carroll spoke to after the alleged incident, a photograph of Carroll with Trump in '87, testimony from two women who had separately accused Trump of sexual assault, footage from the Trump Access Hollywood tape, and his October 22nd deposition. A jury verdict in May 2023 found Trump liable for sexually abusing and defaming Carroll and ordered him to pay $55 million in damages. Trump made an unsuccessful counterclaim and in December 24 lost his initial appeal. So he just gets to keep appealing this shit. Oh, liberal. Says, what's he say? Says Kate Bowman. Gee, I wonder who Bowman has his allegiances to. I'm a liberal. I'm somebody who wants liberties. How dare anybody want liberties? But of course you have white Christian male who for some reason can overlook all of this stuff and make the accuser the bad guy. Gee, I wonder what kind of skeletons this piece of shit has in his closet. Yeah. You only do that with shit you relate to. Nobody who is innocent, who has never done anything, disgusting along those lines, thinks, oh well, Trump's the good guy. This is fucking horrendous. Carroll's accusation against Trump was more severe than the other accusations made by other women. Regarding the jury verdict, the judge asked the jury to find if the preponderance of the evidence suggested that Trump raped Carroll under New York's narrow legal definition of rape at the time, denoting forcible penetration with the penis as alleged by the plaintiff. The jury did not find Trump liable for rape and instead found him liable for a lesser degree of sexual abuse. Oh, okay. He's just a sexual abuser then, my bad. In 2023, Judge Kaplan, if I had Judge Kaplan, I would demand that the case, that the judge recuse himself. If I had anything that had to do with any sort of court case or anything, and the judge was a friar, that would terrify me. We're talking about the worst people in the fucking world who absolutely stick together. Again, look at the Alexandrovich case. The Israeli cybersecurity officer caught in the Las Vegas sting a couple of weeks ago. Caught fucking red-handed, caught in the sting, showed up to meet a child, was arrested, and was allowed to post bond and fly back to Israel by an Israeli-born judge. Why is anybody okay with that? You have to ask yourself that simple question. Who the fuck would be like, oh yeah, just go back to Israel, it's okay. You don't need to be held accountable for what you've done. Go look at the Michael Jackson Bolanos case. Tell me how that shit's even close to fair. They even tried to get a non-Jew judge, and they couldn't. They weren't allowed to. Because the suggestion that the judge that's acting in an unprecedented way, who's adding charges and interrupting and just doing all these things that never happen in court, he's not biased, adding hate crime charges and all this shit. Because if a Jew is killed, then it must be a hate crime. I mean, if some little kids run by and knock the hat off of an old Jewish man, that's considered a hate crime. I need to go look at the list again. Judge Kaplan said that the verdict found that Trump had raped Carol according to the common definition of the word, i.e., not necessarily implying penile penetration. In August 2023, Kaplan dismissed a countersuit and wrote that Carol's accusation of rape is substantially true. To think that, like that information exists and you ignore it. Yeah, your son would get his ass whooped. Your son would get his ass whooped. But think about it. Look at the comments. Who's going to really get mad at me because I'm reading about Trump's rape accusation, rape conviction? Who thinks me talking about what the Jews do is worse than Trump raping somebody? Raping a child. She was young at the time. Only these piece of shit friars, man. These friars are the worst fucking people in the world. I just don't know how many different ways I can show you. Talk about Muslim. Talk about Muslim, dumbass says. Again, who wants to change the subject? Who thinks we shouldn't talk about these guys doing something bad? We should talk about somebody else doing it. You know, I can only provide you with so much information, but fortunately my feed provides you with a lot more evidence than maybe you realize. You know? Ask these people why they're here. Ask these people what motivates them to come here, and they won't answer. The one dude has Sonic the Hedgehog in his profile picture, just so he can lure little kids into thinking he's cooler than he is. These are pedophiles, man. And again, I think people just don't understand how huge this problem is. I don't think you really have put two and two together. You see the evidence for it everywhere. You just haven't put it all together. You see it when you look at all of these pedo hunters, when you look at To Catch a Predator. Let's just go with To Catch a Predator by itself. To Catch a Predator was yeah. I got to get in there and spray it. They're all in there. They're protected. Oh yeah. I've sprayed it past 2 days. I sprayed it last night and today. And they are not happy. I think they get a buzz from it. Oh.
Mo wanted to go potty, so he's outside, but I imagine he'll get hot soon.
Yeah. I wonder if the spray has like a stinging sensation. You think it makes them all crazy and like discombobulated and they're like, who I be? Who I be? What? You're stupid, stupid.
Oh yeah, don't forget about our big dog.
He likes it. Shush! Hush, please. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey now, get away from me, bee. You see this bee following me? And bees? I am not letting you have my tea. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. I'm gonna get stung. It's trying to sting me. Woo. Let's get the fuck out of here. That was funny. It's not like it even hurts that bad. I don't even know what the... Getting stung is not pleasant, but it's not like... It doesn't hurt that bad. Belch. Oh, excuse me. Whew. Whew. The J Crew joined 12 years ago. 7 subscribers. What a surprise. Joined 12 years ago. This is one of my favorite shows, man. It's so fucking bad. It's so stupid. It's amazing how cheesy they used to make superhero shit. I mean, yay, yep. Now let's see. Yep, I love watching kid shows. My kids don't watch these shows. But that's me. And now we have another page who was made 4 minutes ago. 4 minutes ago, somebody made a page specifically for me. Oh, by the way, that was just a commercial for the show. The show's not on. It's not on until 3 o'clock. I was screaming, yay, there's a song about you. Hooray, but you're still a clown shoe. Yay, there's a song about you. Hooray, but you're still a clown shoe. Real quick. Let me ask you this. If I had gotten busted selling and manufacturing methamphetamines within 4 school districts.
Thank you, buddy
Would you
Todd.
accept the fact that I got no jail time? Would you? Would you really? I doubt it. Doofus is calling, Doofus is calling. Doofus is calling, Doofus is calling. I can never say thank you enough. You know not what you mean to me. Though I've dealt with the likes of Keiko and such, these robots come so frequently. You think they love my frequency, while they constantly promise they don't. They're hoping that the meat can't see they will all of our won'ts. But you're the antidote. You help cure their disease. Sharing my witty anecdotes will rise up from our knees. But I only plant the seeds. It's you who makes them grow. I do just another nothing feed if you choose not to show. See, if you don't make it go, it only goes nowhere. Bro, stop saying bro. Dysfunction's like mohair. And I know I always go there, but that suit no longer suits me. I'm a modern day Voltaire. I see religion as a movie that we should all profusely demand is kept from children. Oh, do you not see how obtusely they shape the world we build when everyone is killed? Then who's left might pay attention when the scripts won't be refilled and we're locked in the detention camps they always mention. When the latest virus hits, that's when they keep the best inventions for themselves, yet little bits trickle out as gifts given by the gods. They sell us their spaceships and the marks just watch and nod. But you break from the pond, you do what you're not supposed to. You are not retard, who's now happier than the herd who always catch the bird flu since they're weak just like their mind. They don't focus on the words, but you fight choosing being blind. And since I ask you all the time to please think for yourself, you find it more than out of line that the doofus wasn't dealt the hand so often felt by those not in the system. I'd say it's time for Dad to grab the belt, but I think he likes the Pistons. And anyone with visions that's a knock on being gay, you lack the proper wisdom to see the 50 Shades of Grey. Always on display, it's almost never black and white, but he'd be happy in a way that he'd no longer need to fight. So what? He lacks the height and has the shoes too small to fill. If he accepted himself, he might no longer get the thrill forever trying to spill the milk he always cries for. I'm sorry, dude, just chill. Not everyone's first prize. You're not the biggest geyser, but there are many in the park. You don't need to be a liar since you say I'm in the dark. If I'm really just another mark that to mean how you're forever seen. But since you claim that I am crazy, why won't you simply be the queen instead of acting like such a baby? I'm screaming, yay, there's a song about you. Hooray, but you're still a clown shoe. Yay, there's a song about you. Hooray, but you're still a clown shoe. Yay, there's a song about you. Hooray, but you're still a clown shoe. Yay, now there's a song about you. Hooray, too bad you're still a clown shoe.
Good luck getting that out of your head.
Haters gon' hate. Haters gon' hate. They keep calling me. Keep on calling me. They keep calling me. Keep on calling. Hey, let's get all this. How many people YouTube not take their money? They won't take our money. TVG, baby. TBG. We're nothing without you. Long live the haters! If Charles wants you, man, he's the best.
TVG would like to offer a truce. And since the videos and imitation have us completely flattered, we hope those billionaires and chubs appreciate our impressions and the beautiful art they've inspired. Thank you so much for all your TPG promotion. It's just too bad you pedophiles. The monkey claimed his name to but the employees know him as Limp Bizkit. He's like the leader of the slow, and he really is a dipshit. More than your average nitwit. To not get caught, they must be smart. But only pedos whip their dick out. It's been obvious from the start. And these clown shoes only play their part when and if you challenge their thing. Those clown Jew pedos card are sure to feel their scarcity, since no goyim dares to sing a song that isn't them. The offense that you unfairly bring defends your true intent. You'd rather lobsters on your piano than Mr. Krabs upon your organ. If I give you all your ammo, you look like logic to a Mormon. See, you are nothing more than a tiny inconvenience. TBG had the high score when you showed off your micro penis.
Woo!
Used to cry.
What it's all about me, guy.
Every day. What a song about me, guy. What is everyone gay?
Yay! There's a song about you. Hooray! Too bad you're still a clown shoe. So we're just gonna reset because again, looks like we've been censored. So we'll try the third time and see what happens. Pedophiles, kill yourself.